All right, guys, we are back in action. We had a little technical glitch, but we are back. So I am here with Les Smith. He is the winner of the Unlimited Iron class at Stick Week. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So I want you to just jump right in and just kind of tell me how it all started out. What made you decide to start? What made you decide to run Sick Week 2026? And had you done it prior to this? Give us some background.
So I did run Sick Week last year. I've been doing drag and drive since, I don't know, like 2014, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay.
Lots of drag week stuff and whatever, little events. So Sick Week seems to be kind of head and shoulders above the rest at this point. So that's where everybody wants to be.
For
Obviously,
sure.
us included.
Yeah. So what is it about Sick Week besides it being kind of the premier, drag and drive? What is it about Sick Week that draws you in?
Well, I mean, one thing, it's really cold and snowy here, so we try and go to Florida, you know, in the winter for
Where are
for
you?
the for the warmth, but it wasn't really warm this year.
Where are you located?
Northeast Indiana.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. You guys had a lot of snow the last, month or so. It's probably been really nasty. You've had the itch.
Right. Yeah. The when we went to leave for Sick Week, it was 0 that morning, and we were just dreaming of 50 degrees, and of course when we got there it was really warm, but within a day or so it was only in the 20s.
Yeah, for sure. So kind of give me a rundown of your setup. Tell me about your build, your combination. Do you tune yourself? Give me the deets.
So this 2011 Camaro, um, I bought in like 2018 or 19 out of a salvage yard. Uh, just wanted to build something faster, more capable. My old car was not built for what we were doing, and we were tearing it up. We were going too fast. So we built a full chassis, and of course, it's got a Steve Morris conventional headed 540 in it. And RPM transmission, of course, Bullseye turbos. Um, so it's just a never ending science fair project, basically.
So you tune the car yourself?
um, I do, I can do some power management. Um, I don't like write programming or anything like that as far as regular air fuel stuff. Um,
Gotcha.
so until this past week, Steve has always helped me a ton with that stuff. Also, Ryan Whitty uh, would help me a bunch. Uh, Last week, I got hooked up with a gentleman by the name of um, Rob Holofield, and
Okay.
he was a huge part of us figuring out a bunch of my gremlins and getting us down the track.
So what do you use for an ECU? Just out of
It is a
curiosity.
it is a Holly Dominator
Okay.
system.
Yeah, I
Yep.
didn't ask. I didn't ask Val that, but it seems like that is very kind of like a street friendly kind of situation. I would say.
So I think most of us have multiple tunes. So I have a street tune that we put in it, and it doesn't make any boost, and um, it runs on pump gas and so on. Run it on a small set of injectors, and just try to make it more street friendly.
Right. And you pull a trailer the entire time, right? So you drove nearly 1,000 miles.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. You just can't find parts for these cars. Not the parts that were running on them. You don't stop at your local Napa Auto Parts and buy
Yeah.
stuff for these. There's so much of it that's custom, or um, I don't want to say one off, but it's just harder to get parts.
Yeah. For sure. So when you pack a trailer like that, what do you have multiples of? Because you're so limited on space. So what is the priority when you're doing this?
So my partner in this, Dave Cole, he is like a master of packing way more in that trailer than we think we can fit. But anything from, gaskets, lifters, I had some pistons and rods. I have, uh, of course, there's a generator packed in there and battery chargers and tires, shocks, extra
Wow.
belts. I mean, just on and on
Yeah.
and on.
Yeah, so basically ready to tear the engine down at any point in the game, right? Like everything you need pretty much.
Well, we try to have all that stuff and then you'll never need it. That's the goal.
Yeah, for sure. So for people that are just tuning in, how would you describe your sick week 2026 in one sentence from your thrashing to the 665 at 213 that you ran to win unlimited iron?
It started very trying, uh, and ended up really well. It just didn't work great in the beginning.
So is that the oil pressure issues and then changing the lifters in the hotel parking lot?
Well, we never went. The car never ran until a week before we left. So I'm a planning kind of guy. I want to have everything planned out. I want to know how everything is going to work and have it tested.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any of that. So we showed up there testing 2 days prior and couldn't even make the car go down the track for 2 days. There was just lots of little things that just weren't working together. We never even, I think we got it to go down the track Sunday afternoon, and it was just a partial pass. So before day one, it hadn't went down the track at all.
That is a huge gamble. Were you
Oh boy,
nervous?
absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm a planner too. I don't like that. I don't like flying by the seat of my pants on stuff, especially when there's a lot at stake, you know. This is like high pressure stuff. You've got to get down the highway, you got to get down the track. What size turbos are you running?
They are 96 or 8896 NLXs.
Gotcha. Yeah. So how do you feel about those?
They are fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and it's amazing the difference. Because I had switched from gas C16 last year to methanol, and holy cow, do they spin up faster?
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Bullseye doesn't get enough credit for that.
No, I don't think they do either. It's kind
I
of a hidden secret, and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. So that's why we're doing this now. I want to hear all about it. You know, why do you love it? And obviously it's working for you. And obviously they're street worthy, so they can take you six set. What was your average? It was what was your average?
It was 686, I
That is
believe.
flying. So at what point, like, did you get everything worked out, and then you were able to go, you know, all the way with it?
Well, it's still a work in progress. We just, uh, pulling the logs, and we'd look at them. I'd send the logs to Rob, um, and we were just tiptoeing at it. We weren't going to throw the kitchen sink at it right away. It was just
Right.
trying to make it, little steps here. Let's not hurt anything. It's a brand new combination. Keep pulling plugs, looking at plugs, making sure that it's healthy and so on.
Right.
It's just a process, and when it's
So
brand
what made you do a major overhaul right before sick week?
well, it started back in the end of May of last year. Uh, and so the engine that was in it come out of my other car. When I built this car, I didn't have money to build a complete car and a whole new drivetrain and everything. So I stole the stuff out of my old car. Um, and this is stuff that was built in like 2013 or 2014. Um, and I want to put my other car back together. So we decided we'd build a new engine for this, change it to an aluminum block for weight, to lose weight and make the switch to methanol at the same time.
Yeah, that's a lot. Wow. So what was the single biggest headache in the lead up
I,
to So just the non-testing, just the nerves that came along with that, or did you have like any major situations?
Well, I think just getting parts today is a huge deal.
It
Um,
is.
we we really thought that we were going to be testing this thing last fall. I mean, that was the goal, uh, to at least get a couple trips to the track and figure this thing out before we went to sick week. And I mean, we had some issues with oh, a certain individual that was supposed to be 2 weeks to get parts, and it took them over 5 months.
Oh my goodness.
So that really puts a kink in the situation. It's hard to plan for that. So we didn't really. So by the time I had gotten the engine and got it in and plumbed, it never went to the chassis shop for the cold side and a bunch of other little things until basically the 1st of December. So in 8 weeks, there was a huge amount of work that got done, and yes, a whole bunch of nerves because it's a rush, rush, rush situation, which is why we had some gremlins because everything is so rushed.
Right, right. So, this is the perfect place to call somebody out if they took 5 months to send your parts, but you don't
Yeah,
have to if you don't
I'm,
want to.
I'm not that guy.
All right, I got you. No problem. Just thought we might have a little, controversy here. It's, sometimes you want a little bit of excitement. So when you finally went from the won't go down stage to that first solid 7 second and then that 699, what changed? Like what did you finally figure out to get to that point?
A lot of it was just trying to figure what was out in what was wrong in the Holly. We had some stuff pinned wrong in the Holly, and the boost controller wasn't working the way it should. Um, we were chasing it around with 4 link setups, and um, I I think if everything would have been right from the beginning, we probably wouldn't even have been there. So uh, it is. I don't know. It gets so hectic, and sometimes you just chase the wrong things, even because you get pointed in a certain direction, and you have to make calls right now, and you don't have enough time, and so you just head down a path, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
So I saw something in your recap about bypassing some sensors and overnighting parts. Can you kind of tell me about that?
On our drive day, we had a day that we drove. I don't even remember. It was over 300 miles. We had taken off down the road, and the day was fantastic. It was sunny and 60, and you just couldn't ask for any more. Lots of 65, 70 mile an hour driving. Um, and we were 3/4 of the way through the drive, maybe even farther. We were sitting in some traffic in a town, and I watch my gauges like a hawk. Um, just my thing. And I had told Dave, I said, "Hey, this thing just hit 180 degrees. That's odd because it hadn't been all day. It was running 165 or 70 degrees because it's not overly hot outside." And like 30 seconds later, I said, "Hey, it's 190."
Mm.
And then it's 200. And I'm like, I need some
Oh
place.
boy.
So him being my co-pilot, he kind of points me in the right direction because there's just so much going on. Um, that you're just not driving a Toyota Corolla around, it's way more in depth than that. And so he got me pointed in the right direction, and it was like 215 or something as I'm rolling into this Walmart parking lot. Um, and of course, they make a bunch of noise, but everybody is standing and staring, and we're tearing this car apart, trying to figure out did we chafe a wire somewhere? Something grounded out? Is there fuse problems? Is there what's going on? So we have the whole nose off of this car, and um, people are standing around, staring, checking it
So
out,
like
checking us out.
Walmart shoppers, you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yep.
Ah.
So um, we get to the point that we know that there's nothing wrong with the car itself. Uh, and Spal, the fan company, Spal USA, uh, they have a sensor that is in line and it's not just a power or a ground, and we weren't sure how to diagnose it. So as luck would have it, I got on their tech line and we got a fantastic tech guy. I believe his name was Mark, if I remember correctly. And he walked us through exactly what we needed. And I didn't, when he was telling us what to do, I didn't write it down. So we get through half of what he told us what to do, and I'm like, oh, I can't remember. So I call him
Oh,
back. So I call him back, and luckily I got him again. And so then he stayed on the phone with us, and we got to the point that he says, "Okay, now this is how you can bypass this sensor. It isn't just as easy as jumping over, but he told us how to bypass the sensor, and it worked. The fans would work, and he
so
asked
they
where
would
we.
run constantly, like a run
Yep.
to keep them running constantly? Gotcha. Yeah,
So
that's incredible.
they would run constantly at full speed, and normally they don't. They're a brushless fan, and they just run half speed or something, whatever the car actually needs.
Mhm.
Um, but in the end, he asked where we were going, and I said, "Hey, tomorrow we're going to be at Bradenton." And he says, "Call me back with the address." So I call him back, and he says, uh, "Well, first I'd ask him. I said, Summit is going to be on site with their truck. Can they, do they sell this sensor?" And he says, "No, not yet." He said, "We've got the new sensors out. They're more robust." He said, "But I will have you one at Bradenton in the morning."
Wow.
So they overnighted it to me, and it literally was waiting on me at the track in the morning. That is customer service that you can't ask
No.
anybody for.
So you definitely need to leave them a five-star review on Google for sure, if you haven't
One,
already.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So generally, I'm not saying there isn't good companies out there, but a lot of them don't work quite like that. I was
Mhm.
thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, that's amazing. Alright, so you were changing lifters in the hotel parking lot in Orlando, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what does that say about your crew and your prep and, just tell me all about these guys and what that's like, and at some point, did you wanna give up? Like, were you ever at a point where you were just like, I don't think we're gonna be able to do this?"
Well, I was there when the car wouldn't go down the track on by Sunday. I'm like, if this thing doesn't go down the track by Monday, it's got to at least make a partial pass because I'm not going to drive 1,000 miles and just test and tune.
Right.
Um, but by the point we were in Orlando, uh, I went out and every morning. So I'm an early riser, so I'll go out in the parking lot at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, set up a light and check valves, kind of make sure everything is, healthy so we can take off and go for the day. And when I found, I don't remember what number it was. I told Dave to write it down. I said, it's just a little bit loose. And then I get all the way to the end on number two, and it was really loose. Um, and I'm like, crap, here we go. So start tearing it apart, inspecting rocker arms, push rods. And I'm like, well, intake has to come off. So here we are, someplace you don't want to be. It's cold, and
Yeah.
you're disassembling it. Um, but yeah, no, I have full faith in uh, my ability and Dave's ability to make it happen. Man,
Was it just the 2 of you?
yes, yep. So
Wow.
on these events, you supposed to be the only people that work on the car are whoever rides in the car.
Yeah.
So now, if I would have been at the track, so we were in impound. So anybody that was in impound could have helped me in the track, but you're not supposed to have
Like
people
a
following you
chaser,
around with
right, gotcha. Yeah, that
exam.
makes sense. I've never really dove into the rules, but that's really interesting. I figured it would be something like that. So, that definitely limits you.
Yeah, you're supposed to be pretty self-sufficient. Not that you can't call and order parts somewhere and have them delivered, but um, I mean, I think that was pretty much the idea in the beginning was you were supposed to be a self-sufficient race program and you weren't supposed to get outside help.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. So tell me about the 678 and then the 669 personal best. What day did you run those ETs?
So that was the same day as changing the lifters. So we changed those lifters, and I can't remember what time it was, but we took off for the racetrack, and we had I think Dave had the radio on in our headsets, and he was watching the live feed, and they had called us. They had called us to the lanes. We weren't even to the track yet. So we got to the track, and it's like an hour and a half. If we are hustling, it's an hour and a half changeover from street mode to race mode. And we, luckily, being in impound, had a impound lane, so we could go right up to the track when we were ready. Um, and when they pulled us out, I was shocked that the everything worked great, and down the track it goes, and problem free. And then when I saw the 678, I was ecstatic. Um, so
So for people that don't know, that don't speak the lingo, what is impound?
so impound, they take the top three people in each class. I think it's the top three um, that are faster than 850 ET wise. So they put you in there, and basically they're making it known that you have to work on your stuff. There isn't a bunch of other people walking around that's stopping and helping and showing you how to do it or doing it for you. And they keep an eye on you while you're in impound. And there's
Okay, so
lots
this
of
is
eyes
a
on
place
you.
for them to kind of monitor you so that because you're
Yeah,
super fast, you're crushing it, and they don't want to give you to have an edge in any kind of way. So that's what this is, huh?
that's exactly right. Yep.
That is so cool. I love the whole concept. The whole vibe with Sick Week is just really fun. Just the names and the things that they've come up with, and the Sick Ward, and all of that. It's really cool. So Sick Week is all about averages. How closely were you and Dave watching the math between your 686 with a 0 and Alex Taylor's 686 with an 8 heading into that final round of runs?
So when we left, when we went that, uh, what was it, 669 or whatever, at Orlando, and we left there, I Dave and I were talking, and we're like, man, we have to be close to being in the top three with that now, or relatively close. And when we got to the hotel that night, um, the averages, they had sent the averages out or posted the averages, and we're like, I can't remember, but I think Alex was at that time, her average was 695 maybe, and mine was like 92.5. Um, Something in that vicinity, and we're like, holy cow, we're in second place. But normally we don't even watch. It's
Right,
things are so hectic, and you're running around with blinders just trying to make sure your program is doing what it is supposed to do.
right.
But yes, we did know that going into the last day that we were that close. But we thought we were, you know, gunning for second place, not overall, or not, overall in our class, first place in our class.
But you finished third overall for the event, right?
Yes. Yep.
That's just incredible. So you had a new personal best out of it. You had a class win, and then third overall. That's incredible. So, is there anything else that just kind of stands out? Anybody you just, want to thank? Obviously, Dave, we should have brought him on. I don't know Dave. He just sent me a friend request. I think it was yesterday. We should have brought him on. He could have come on and probably told some secrets.
Oh yeah, he would have told stories about me, I'm sure.
That's funny. You lived in the 6 7 or the 6 second 210 plus mile an hour zone with almost 1,000 miles of street driving, which is just like it's hard for me to wrap my head around that. Back in the day, having a 9 second streetcar was like, that was really fast. 15, 20 years ago, probably. I'm aging myself at this point. But out of all the turbo options you have, because obviously this is a bullseye centric podcast for our winners. What is it about Bullseye that makes you choose Bullseye when you have so many other options out there, and that are high performing options as well?
So years ago, when I changed from a supercharger to turbos, we ended up getting turbos from Bullseye. And this whole thing really is about relationships. Um, and when people treat you good or treat me good anyways, and the products are good, you always go back, or I do anyways. So point in case, when we were building this car, one of the first calls was to Bill, and I'm like, I call Bill about all kinds of things. Um, to be honest, race car related. But I called Bill, said, "This is what we're doing. Send me the right turbos for the job." And that's what he did. Um, so when we ran, perfect example, when we ran this car last year and it was brand new, um, I had some oiling issues. They weren't turbo oiling issues, but that's where they showed up. Was I had too much oil pressure for the turbos, and we worked through it, and Bill's like, "Hey, let's do this and this and this," and boom, takes care of it. No more problems. Um, I don't know for sure if I get that service from other places, but I know I get it at Bullseye, and why would I change?
There you go. Yeah, I agree. Plus, they're made in America, so that
Absolutely.
is something we can hang our hats on with confidence, and it's something that I just want to drive home to people, that I value American made when we can. A lot of people talk the talk, but not a lot of people walk the walk. So
Right. Well, and it's easy to prove to people. They can go right to Muskegon and knock on the door. It's there.
yeah, I
I
sent
mean,
that. I sent Dave and Bill to the Foundry, and they did the first segment of our Made in America video, kind of the Foundry tour. So that worked out really well. It was really interesting. I don't know if did you see it?
I did not. Now I'm going to have to look for it.
You do. You got to look for it. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on. It's been shared on the business Facebook page, and then I'm cutting them into smaller slices, so it kind of makes them into short reels. So it's really
Okay.
interesting. So they poured compressor covers about a week and a half ago, and that was interesting. So we'll do compressor wheels and turbines next, and so the guys they're just game to go do that, and I think that's amazing. So I love Bullseye. They're great.
Yes. Now that I know that video's there, I'm going to go watch it.
Go watch it and put a comment in there and share it on your Facebook page.
Will do.
Well, I appreciate your time so much. Congratulations on your win. I think it's incredible. We'll be watching your program, and let me know if you need anything, and let Bill know. I'm sure he'll answer your call quickly.
Well, he always does. But
He's
once
great.
again, thanks Bullseye. They're a big part of my program. And once again, it's all about friendships. The Steve Morse Engines deal. Um, that's not just a hey, show up and buy an engine kind of deal. It's
For sure.
friendships that are built over, heck, I don't know, probably close to 20 years I've been working with Steve now. So um, they're all great people.
Yeah, they
We
are.
take care of each other.
That they are. That was a good podcast. I enjoyed having them on. All right, Les. Well, thanks so much. And next time you win, we'll do it again.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All
Have a good
right.
evening.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.